108, with 12 people in ICU, 1 on a ventilator. While one of the state's biggest public schools, Brighton Secondary, will shut tomorrow due to COVID, staff shortages have forced the school to revert to remote learning for 3 days. Labor claims the federal government is trying to run a desperate scare campaign on tax policy. The coalition says the opposition would increase taxes if it wins the election by scrapping the tax cap. As things stand, the government can only collect tax which represents up to 24% of the entire economy. Shadow Treasurer Jim Chalmers says it's an arbitrary cap and its function should be examined.
Our position on tax is really clear. The government once again is playing their usual politics, trying to unleash these scare campaigns based on lies. We've seen this before from this Prime Minister and this Treasurer.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister says he won't be calling an election tomorrow, but has hinted we're likely to go to the polls on the 21st of May. The date means the Morrison government would have served its full term. The consumer watchdog says petrol prices have dropped dramatically since the fuel excise cut was announced in the federal budget. Average daily unleaded prices fell by up to 27 cents per litre in Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane, by 31 cents in Adelaide and 35 cents in Perth. The Australian Services Union has expressed its concern about the number of jobs Qantas has cut in recent times. People have been waiting hours to speak to customer service agents, only to be told they can't be helped or have their call dropped. The union claims a large number of local employees have been replaced by offshore workers as part of COVID cost-cutting measures. Assistant National Secretary Emile Gasquet says the airline is headed for trouble if it doesn't act now.
This is going to end up in disaster with long wait times and people very frustrated at the airport and exhausted staff, and that's exactly what's happened.
Volodymyr Zelensky has given a blunt message to the United Nations, accusing Russia of the worst crimes since World War II. Europe correspondent Brett McLeod reports.
Addressing the UN Security Council, the Ukrainian president gave a very graphic account of the brutalities in Bucha, claiming Russians killed civilians for pleasure. He said the United Nations should expel Russia and its veto power from the Security Council. Well, failing that, he said the organisation should dissolve itself. Russia is still claiming the scenes in Bucha are forgery, despite satellite images taken weeks ago showing bodies of civilians on the streets. The US is expected to announce new sanctions on Russia in coordination with G7 nations and the European Union in the days ahead.
Now turning to FIVEAA Sport. They're not panicking at Alberton despite a winless start to season 2022. Tom Cleary will pull on the boots tomorrow night when Port meet Melbourne in round 4 at Adelaide Oval. Coach Ken Hinkley says they have a good win-loss record against the Demons and 5 consecutive wins against the AFL Premiers since 2017.
The record at the moment, if we can call on some history, we'd like to be able to call on that record and make sure that we get a win against last year's reigning Premiers, but I could imagine they won't be wanting that to be the case.
The Crows have confirmed Taylor Walker will face Essendon this weekend after serving a 6-game suspension for a racial slur. Darcy Fogarty has been admitted as a result. Meanwhile, record-breaking Geelong captain Joel Selwood will be rested for Friday night's clash with Brisbane. Coach Chris Scott says it's part of a rotation policy.
We've got some guys that we are going to be proactive with, and they're not going to play games even when they're in good health, because one, we want to have them at their best deep into the season, and two, we think we've got a broad group of players that can all contribute and we want to use them. We don't want to get stuck with the same 22 every week.
And Australia's men's cricket team has finished its tour of Pakistan on the right note, beating the home side by 3 wickets in a one-off T20 international. Captain Aaron Finch finding form with a half-century. Now checking FIVEAA traffic.
Around Hendon, Seaton and Royal Park areas, there's been a nasty chemical spill that's closed Tapley's Hill Road and West Lakes Boulevard. Take care. McDonald Park intersection upgrade works. Heaslip Road near Curtis Road affecting both directions. And slow going at the moment. Darlington works on the Flagstaff Road upgrade continue near the South Road intersection. Cameras on the drive home. Hancock Road, Surrey Downs and Steppenheath Road at Munopara West. Get to Adelaide Oval this Saturday to watch the Adelaide Crows take on Melbourne in the 2022 NAB AFLW Grand grand final. Tickets $10 at women's.afl. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Things mature well in the Barossa Valley. For the retirement lifestyle you deserve, go to barossavillage.org.
Partly cloudy this afternoon, 23. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 24. Friday mostly sunny, 26. And Saturday partly cloudy, 28. Right now it's 20 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
South Australia's new COVID record, just a day after we thought the peak had passed. A motorbike rider's dangerous stunt on a southern suburbs road. Incredible vision of the moment a driver ended up in a backyard pool. Grocery bills going up, but now new predictions on when we'll see relief. Plus, the less invasive scan for prostate cancer. I'm Brenton Raglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
$13.95, Adelaide's 5AA. This is Jade Robran.
Good afternoon. It is 6 minutes past 3 o'clock, and we are coming to you live and clear on the Facebook live stream too, all thanks to Cancer Council. So if you like to jump on YouTube or also Facebook, you can watch me and my good mate Richard Pascoe talk tech, because it's that time of the week.
Hello, welcome to Tech Talk.
5AA Tech Talk with Richard Pascoe.
And it's a good afternoon to Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers, your technology specialist. How are you, my friend?
Wide awake, Jade.
You've come off the night shift.
I've had 15 cups of coffee and I'm a go. We'll answer all the questions. It'll be good. It'll be fine. I look good. It's fine. Hi, folks.
You sure you've only had that many cups of coffee?
Yes, Jade, I have. It's just that many. Only a joke, people. It's fine.
I know. Let's go straight into it. Let's talk to Sandra, who's called in from Enfield. Hi, Sandra. Welcome to the show.
Hello?
Hi, Sandra.
Oh, hi, I'm back.
What's happened?
Come on, Sandra.
I want to ask you,
Yes.
what device can I buy that's pretty simple and that will last a couple of years? And I tell you, I only want to put photos, some short home movies, like 2-3 minutes each, and audio. Right. I've already got stuff on the cloud, but see, I don't trust the government, right? One day it's all going to come crash. I want something in my hands, hard copy.
Right.
Hard copy that I can press, that I can only, need electricity. And I can see all my photos and all my videos and everything.
We can't really blame Sandra, because we're constantly on this show talking about, naughty, bad people out there.
I know, but unfortunately, Sandra and Jade, the government has nothing to do with the cloud.
No, I know.
No, okay, I'll put it another way. One day, we might have to pay for it more.
Well, we do have to pay for the cloud now.
Well, I know it's coming out of my account, but, one day it might cost more. And okay. Who's asking questions here? I want to know.
I'm just giving you a hard time, Sandra. It's good, isn't it?
All I want to know, just tell me what to buy, because...
Okay, and hang on, you only want the laptop to last you 2 years, did you say? You said a couple of years.
Yeah.
No, it will last longer than that, Sandra.
Yeah, okay.
Well, what does she get? Come on.
Okay.
The suspense of this.
That's what I like. How much do you want to spend? Roughly between you and me.
I don't know how much.
$1,000?
Yeah, that's okay.
Good.
I don't want the cheapest. Good. I don't want the most expensive.
Yep.
I want sort of something,
Yep.
I don't want you to tell me, you get what you pay for.
$1,000, you'll get a good laptop, Sandra. HP would probably be the brand that I'd say you would get on there. Decent storage on your hard drive. You can hook up a solid state external drive to it as well, so you can copy your photos over, so you don't have to put them on the cloud. For it, 8 to 16 gig of RAM in it. It's going to cost you around about $1,000, Sandra.
Yeah. Okay. So what's it called? I mean, where do I go?
You go shoot over to Harvey Norman. You want an HP laptop, and it'll be like $899 to $1,100.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be in that range. You'll pick up a really good one for around about $1,000, and it will probably do you for the next 5-10 years.
Oh, okay. Now, so I'm actually eventually weaning myself off a mobile phone because I don't just want to, you know, a big FU to the government. They can't force me to have a phone and track me everywhere. So,
Sandra, I think you're safe. It's okay.
Sandra,
my question is,
yes.
Can I, with that laptop, can I buy a normal camera without tracking on it?
Yeah.
And I can hook up the thing to the laptop and copy photos on that.
Of course you can.
Okay, all right. Now, but that's basically what I wanted to know. And because you're a tech guy, I have to tell you something.
Okay.
Very, very important.
Right.
You have to look up on YouTube. It's called Stealth War, How China Took Over America's Elite how China took over while America's elite slept.
Right.
It's on YouTube, and he explains so much technology on it about what's coming. I don't understand it. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
I think that's what scared you a little bit.
I'll have a look at it. And Sandra, sorry, just a quick bit of advice when you go outside, all right? Make sure your tinfoil hat doesn't blow off, okay? You'll be right, Sandra. It's okay.
We're safe. We're okay.
We're safe.
All right. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your call there, Sandra. Good luck with your purchase. Let's talk about speeding up your current computer. You've got some tips and tricks on how to do that.
I do. A lot of it relates to just what I said to Sandra then. So if you're going out to buy a new computer, you're after one with a solid-state drive, no moving parts, Jade. That means it starts quicker, programs load quicker, less chance of it breaking down because there's no moving parts inside of it, with 8 to 16 gig of RAM. Most of them come with 8. If you can get up to 16 gig, even better. Means if you're one of those people that have... God, I saw somebody the other day, when they start Chrome, 125 tabs start.
Why?
They're a bit...
Is they lucky?
You know, it's like, I'll check that one, check that one, check that one, check that one, check that one. I think, well, after I'd give up. I can't do that. I've got 5 tabs open when I do, you know, when I start mine in the morning. So it'll allow for big multitasking on your computer.
Righto.
If you've got an older computer at the moment, consider getting more RAM in it and upgrading your drive in it to a solid state drive. We've done it for lots of people, organised it, and basically they take a mirror image of what's on your drive right now, your moving parts drive, put onto a solid state drive, and it boots in probably a tenth of the time and extends that life on there as well. So, you know, people are doing it on Windows 10 computers to make sure everything's quick, and remember, with Windows 10, October 2025 is when it finishes. That's when support will finish. Because any new computer you buy today, like Sandra, who's going to love it, because when she starts a new computer up and logs in, she's got to log into Microsoft with an email address. On there, so she has to be on the internet. So Sandra's cursing me right now. Sorry, Sandra.
I've got a funny message here. What's Sandra up to that the government would be so interested in? That's what we probably should have asked her. Because she sounded very scared.
People do. People do. And I saw somebody this morning. Big cheerio to all the people I met at Strathalbyn Library this morning. I did a talk on scams and digital death.
Oh, yeah, we touched on that last week about what to do. A gentleman rang in and he's looking after his friend's Facebook account.
Yeah, we might actually just do a whole segment on that one day about what to do if your partner passes away. I think that might be a worthwhile subject to go along and talk
especially if it's happened suddenly and that you haven't had a chance to set things up properly and you don't know that it's coming. You don't, it's a very delicate topic, but a very important one.
I was going to say, somebody on Monday couldn't get into their relative's iPhone. They're not going to.
What a shame.
It is.
Let's talk to Ian from Flagstaff Hill. Hello, Ian. Welcome to the show.
Oh, hello. Good afternoon. Quick question. I've got an iPhone 6.
Yes.
I'm going overseas in August.
Right.
And if I take that iPhone with me, what do I have to do to it if I want to use it domestically and also have the option to phone, obviously, back here to Australia?
So you get... Where are you going, Ian?
I'm going to the UK and to America.
Yeah, so get a local SIM card, right, which will give you a number on there as well. Then you can divert your old number to your new number. So if somebody rings you in, let's say in Australia, will come through to your UK one, and you do the same in the States. Unless you want to pay who's your carrier, Ian, here in Australia? Optus, it's going to cost you $10 a day. And then
so
you
is
can
that cheaper, is it, to buy a SIM?
Yeah, a lot of times it is cheaper to go along and buy a SIM.
And how do you divert your phone number?
You just go along and you buy the SIM.
Yes.
And you just one call and you just go into the phone and say, I'm diverting from 0419829145 to the new UK number.
Rightio.
Oh, I see.
All right.
So if you've got that new UK number on your phone, then through the SIM, it's still possible for people in Australia to call you on your original number.
On your original number, and it'll be pumped through to the new one.
Okay. So and just the physical fitting of the SIM into the iPhone 6 is pretty straightforward, is it?
Yes, you just need like a small paper clip and it just pops out. Practice before you go in. Learn where the SIM hole is. And if you go into a telco store, they'll probably give you the SIM release part in there as well, so you know where the SIM is, and just practice.
Also, just jump onto YouTube and watch a little video about how to open up a Apple. I did that.
Yeah. The reason I was asking the question because I've heard people take their phone over there, and then the call is being sort of sent back to Australia, and they've got an horrendous bill at the end of the time.
Oh, yeah, that's happened to me before. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
Get it sorted before you go, for
That's
sure.
right. All right.
Thank you both for your help.
Thanks, Ian. All right, let's go to Jason. Hey, Jason.
International FaceTime free, Richard, going on that last call?
Yes. So using data on there.
Pretty cheap way of doing probably.
It is a way. A lot of people do use that.
FaceTime, WhatsApp.
FaceTime, WhatsApp, Messenger. And I've got audio quality on FaceTime and Messenger superb as well.
It's funny, isn't it? Because it's something that we just don't really do here in Australia, but it's massive over in America. If you watch any of those reality shows, that's how they ring each other.
Yes.
Whereas we're a bit old school.
Yeah, but I don't need to see you when I call you.
Why not?
I don't know. Well, you and I are different, but that's fine.
Sorry, Jason, we've interrupted. What would you like to ask?
Just make sure you dress when you do it.
Exactly,
That's
Jason.
right.
Thank you. Yes.
Good advice.
Question for you, Richard. Is it a myth or a fact? When you just answer me. I've been told that if you're doing research on an assignment, say for instance, you've got multiple tabs open at once.
Yep.
That there's a way for you to save all those multiple tabs as into your favourites with one keyboard stroke. They're still saved as separate tabs. Does that make sense at all?
The way I would do it, Jason, is if I'm using Google Chrome, in the settings there is a thing called On Startup, and you can go continue where you left off, and that will save all your tabs. So if you had those 15 tabs open, you close Chrome down, go back and load it up, those 15 tabs will come to life. Then if you took 3 tabs out, added 6 tabs in, it would be identical when you restart it. So the 3 tabs will be gone and the 6 tabs would have been added in.
Could you input them into Edge as well if you want to do it that way?
Yes, I think there's a setting in Edge exactly the same way.
If you did it in Chrome, you can import Edge or vice versa.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
I wasn't sure that was a myth or a fact. I just want to double check it.
No, it's not a myth, Jason. It's fine.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thanks, mate. Thank you so much. And I've got a family pass to Monato's Safari Park. The Wild is calling. You can book an animal experience and explore Monato Safari Park. And also their new visitor centre is now open. So any caller that joins us in the next few moments will go into the running to win that. We're going to take a short break. Give us a call if you've got a tech question to ask Richard, 8223 0000.
With exceptional tech and off-road capability, plus a 5-star ANCAP safety rating, the Isuzu MU-X range is extraordinary. Hurry to your local Isuzu ute dealer today.
Right now, across Adelaide, DIYers are taking up their spades and mallets for a great cause. The cause? Cause if they don't get that outdoor paving, retaining wall or steps done before winter, it'll be another 12 months before they do. Cause when it comes to outdoor paving, walls and steps, now's the time to save up to 20% off Lutum, formerly Boral, Adelaide-made pavers, blocks and bricks. Cause you can do it yourself. Get up to 20% off and relax over winter. Whew. See your Luton reseller today, cause this offer won't last.
Everyone deserves a wholesome, hearty meal, but if you don't have a family cook, you always have the family cook, a meal plan delivery service specialising in traditional family favourites made from scratch with fresh local ingredients. They'll help you create a custom meal plan with fresh and frozen options to see you through the week. Plus, they're NDIS approved, so get in touch and maybe treat a loved one with a family cook gift card. Visit thefamilycook.com.au. That's thefamilycook.com.au.
Hey, check this catalogue out. Sip and Save is giving away 5 content creator kits. Just pick up a specially marked Jack Daniels and Cola 4.8% 10-pack for $44.99 and enter online.
Wow, you could win an Apple MacBook, a Canon digital SLR package, a premium drone with heaps of accessories, even a photography course.
They've also got my favourite beer on special, a 24-pack of Cooper's Pale Ales, $49.99.
Great price. The comp ends soon, though.
Way ahead of ya!
Good time start at Sip and Save.
Prices may vary in country areas. See website for T's and C's. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Download the app.
No one does Riesling trails like the Clare Valley. No one does daring dives like the Eyre Peninsula. No one does foodie festivals like Adelaide CBD. No one does outback sunrises like the Flinders Ranges. And no one does SA like RAA. Let RAA travel be your compass to the exceptional this winter. RAA members save up to 20% on select SA travel. Visit us in-store or book online at raa.com.au/South Australia. And keep on moving on. T's and C's apply. Available from RAA.
Yes! Unstoppable Afran at 89. Dairy can decrease your risk of fractures in old age by 33%. Getting more Aussie dairy matters. It can make all the difference. Discover more at dairy.com.au/unstoppable. Oh, stop it, Fran.
The Isuzu D-Max is born to live. With wireless Apple CarPlay, a rear diff lock, 3.5-ton towing, plus a 5-star ANCAP safety rating. Search Isuzu D-Max.
Jade Robran on $13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Welcome back. It's 22 minutes past 3 o'clock. Thank you very much for joining the program. We are talking tech with our favourite tech guru, Richard Pascoe, Adelaide tech guy.
During the break, we were talking alcohol.
Well, we were, because I've been having a glass of red most nights, which I feel is fending off my COVID. I haven't met Rona yet, but I've got a little bit of just a head snuffle today. I did rat this morning and I'm negative, but I think it's just the change of seasons. I'm a little bit puffy.
Hay fever. I'm getting it. I've got to take an antihistamine.
See, I've never had hay fever. Maybe I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Maybe you can. If you know if you can get hay fever later in life, call in and let us know.
Call in, let us know.
Because we don't know.
No, we're experts on this because we're broadcasters. Any health things, we can tell you.
Oh, come to us. Let's talk to Michael from Glandore. Hi, Michael.
Good afternoon. How are you?
We're really
good, thanks, Michael. Apart from a touch of hay fever,
puffy eyes, runny nose. We're great.
Well, I'm just getting over COVID. I've just had it.
How was it? Was it awful?
It was bloody awful. It was like I've had all jabs. I've had all 3 jabs, and I get the flu shot every year.
Yep.
I think last year I had 2 flu shots, or there was one year I had 2.
Yeah.
Because I had it at the normal time, and then there was another one coming through, so I had one later on. So, yeah, but I picked it up. Someone gave it to me.
Well, that's nice of them. I had Bronte Manuel from Toopin here, and he's just got out of his 7 days quarantine, and he said the same thing. He said it was bloody awful, and he said I knew exactly the moment. I said I just knew I had. He said it's just different. It's different from anything else I've ever had, and I don't want it again.
Yeah, I don't really get the flu or anything because obviously I've had the flu shots. If I get something, it's only just 24 hours, and I just feel off.
Yeah, man flu.
This was. Yeah, man flu. This was worse.
Oh, no, that is bad. Like, man flu is the worst, so I've been told. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better now, Michael.
Right. Well, I didn't call to talk about COVID, but thank you very much. Even though I brought it up, sorry. Richard, I'm having an absolute major issue with set-top box recording.
Right.
I've bought 2 different set-top boxes.
What have you bought?
One just an everyday brand, laser.
Yes.
I think I got it from Big W.
Yep.
And then I bought well, because I'd never dealt with it before. So after 7 trips to an electronics supplier,
Yeah.
I finally got all the equipment that I needed. I didn't know I needed a USB stick. Anyway,
Yes.
I got all that, and it started. It worked okay to begin with, and then it started having all these hiccups. Anyway, it wouldn't record. It wouldn't play back. It wouldn't recognise a USB. It did all these things.
Right.
Anyway, I don't have a computer at the moment. I do have one, but I'm in limbo with storage stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I took it to the library, and the USB stick, the lady was there was excellent, but she couldn't get the USB stick to like reformat or anything. Took it back. They had problems with it, so they swapped it over. But I also
Who did you buy it from, Michael?
The USB stick was at J-Car,
Right.
and I thought that the set-top box was the problem. So I bought another set-top box in the idea of returning the other one.
Yes.
This is another brand, a Digitech.
Right.
I think we might need to just throw this whole thing out and go back for the 8th time.
Michael, I would go to Harvey Norman and buy a Fetch set-top box. Because I think buying the stuff from J-Car might be a bit fraught, and I'll buy some new USB sticks. I think they've got to be formatted at FAT32. I hope that helps. But it hasn't helped, Michael. Give me a call and we can have a longer discussion on this.
Good luck, Michael. Thank you so much. I didn't even know that you could record from a set-top box, so I've learned something.
See, Michael's a bit rare because most people now will go along and replay it from the catch-up apps.
Well, that's
9,
exactly
7,
right.
10, 2,
Just download
SBS.
it again.
You know, they just stream it to the TV with a Chromecast.
Well, that's probably your best solution, Michael. Just download your apps and rewatch it, perhaps.
That's it. So lots of people, he might be a Married at First Sight fan that wants to see the finale.
God, wasn't that gripping?
Oh, don't spoil it. I haven't seen it yet.
Have you been watching it?
Like, first series I've watched.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, no thanks. I gave up. I start off always watching about the first 5.
Right.
Because they all start off nice and they like each other.
Yep.
And then they turn nasty and I'm not interested in that.
Yep.
And then I watch the very last episode just to see, did you make it or did you not?
Yeah.
Oh, it's twists and turns. You'll love it.
Yeah. Just waiting for the last one.
Thank you. And if you would like to get in contact with Richard Pascoe, you can head to adelaidetechguy.com.au or talktech.com.au.
All goes to the same place. And I'll come and see you.
Easy peasy. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jade.
We will do it all again next week. And the winner of our family pass to Monarto Safari Park, Jason from Salisbury. What do you think?
I think so, then that's good.
Perfect.
And
Excellent.
you're not in the cage with the lions, Jason. It's okay.
No, you'll be safe. You'll
You'll
come
be
home
safe.
in one piece.
Yes.
You give one a family pass to Monarto Zoo. The wild is calling. You can book an animal experience and explore Monarto Safari Park, and their new visitor centre is now open. So congratulations. Coming up after the break, we're tackling all the tough questions. To flush, do you put the lid up or down, Richard Pascoe, when you flush the toilet?
Down.
Good. Smart. Because if you didn't, that would be gross, and we will tell you why after this short break.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. SA has reported a record 5,784 new COVID cases today and 2 more deaths. We're likely to be headed to the polls in a federal election on May 21st. Volodymyr Zelensky has given a blunt message to the United Nations, accusing Russia of the worst crime since World War II. And the Crows have confirmed Taylor Walker will face Essendon this weekend after serving a 6-game suspension for a racial slur. Partly cloudy this afternoon, 23. Right now it's 21. More news at 4 o'clock and As It Happens on 5AA.
Elder abuse. 2 words we should never see together. ARIS, Aged Rights Advocacy Service, offers a free, confidential and culturally safe service for older people experiencing abuse. It may be physical, psychological, sexual or neglect, restriction of social activities or pressure to lend money. It may come from family, friends, even carers. There's no excuse for abuse. See it, stop it, prevent it. Google ARIS, ARAS, supporting the rights of older people. ARIS is funded by the Australian Government. It's not often you get to go behind the scenes of one of Adelaide's top home builders. Well, at Beechwood Homes, you can. The stunning Beechwood display home at Blackwood Park has just been sold, but that doesn't mean you miss out. Call Steve from Beechwood and he'll take you behind the scenes of other Beechwood masterpieces currently under construction. You'll get an incredible insight into what makes Beechwood Homes an SA favourite. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide.
Cancer Council SA is calling on all of us to help build a new home of cancer accommodation, research, prevention and support. Almost 1/3 of South Australians affected by cancer live in rural and regional areas. Sadly, they are more likely to die within 5 years of a cancer diagnosis. Essentially, they're not able to receive the treatment they need due to the cost of travel and accommodation in the city. That's why the Cancer Council's new building at 202 Greenhill Road is so important. It will offer 120 rooms of supported accommodation alongside cancer research, prevention and support services. Right now, it needs to be filled with essential equipment and the creature comforts of home. By donating just $20, you'll be making a huge difference. Visit 202greenhill.com.au and donate today. That's 202greenhill.com.au.
What's for dinner? Coles have over 100 easy recipes for you to try, all made with 5 ingredients in 30 minutes or less. Head to coles.com.au right now to find out what's for dinner. That's value the Australian way at Coles.
Hop into Cheapest Chips for an excellent Easter.
Cheapest Chips.
You'll love our yummy chocolate Easter bunnies and eggs. Whether your favourite is Violet Crumble, Fruit Chocks or just plain old Chocky, there's something for everybody. Plus, don't miss our huge range of Easter toys, craft, decorations and gift ideas, including Paw Patrol and Barbie boxed Easter gift sets. Cheapest Chips has everything you need for a happy cheapster. I mean, Easter. Live cheaper every day at Cheapest Chips.
What makes Ray White the big name in business broking? They're people, like multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year Brett Buckley and his team of business professionals. They take a deep dive into your business, finding value and potential, and they know what they're looking for because they know businesses. They're not real estate salespeople trying to sell businesses, they're business people selling businesses. If you want to know what your business is worth, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA, multiple Business Broker of the Year awards.
$13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
Good afternoon, it's 3:33 on this Wednesday afternoon. Just got a message here from Sandy. Jade, love hearing you and Richard have a lot of fun together on a Wednesday afternoon. We do. Thank you very much, Sandy. And it did a big thanks to Harvey Norman Computers, your technology specialist, for having him in. Well, we're about to tackle the big issues in a household. Do you flush with the lid up or with the lid down? I live with 3 males, 2 young ones, and teaching them to keep bathroom habits clean. It's been, it's been easier. It's been harder than pushing, I reckon, a ton of cement up a hill. Seriously. I don't know. What is it with young males and bathroom habits? Well, I'm not going to get into gross details, but I will tell you that I'm constantly putting the toilet seat down. And I had a laugh out loud moment when I saw Dr. Carl's TikTok video this week about the importance of flushing the toilet with the seat down. And Dr. Carl Kruzhelnicki, he joins us now. Dr. Carl, thanks for your time. Good afternoon.
I'm Dr. Jade, and I sympathise with your problem.
It is. It's a big problem, and it's gross. But what happens when you flush the loo with the seat up?
Well, you've got the seat that you sit on, and then you've got the lid. So presumably you're using the seat to sit on, and the lid is up when you're using it.
Yes,
and then you've got a variety of products there in the toilet bowl, being solid, liquid, and maybe a bit of gas. Forget the gas. The water comes flushing down. Oh, by the way, do you know the reason that we have a cistern rather than just running it straight off the mains?
Oh, no, I don't. I've never thought about that. Well, to
It's
water it
provide
down.
a one-way valve.
Ah, okay.
So if you had just a pipe supplying water at mains pressure, the pressure is easily enough to flush. But there is always a possibility that you could have, in a flood, you could have backflow of sewage into the fresh water. And so the whole purpose of the cistern is to act like a one-way valve. You fill up the cistern from the high-pressure fresh water, and then you separate it from that, and then separately that water flushes. And the only water that goes into the toilet bowl is water that's been in the cistern. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is that I actually love the fact that the water in the S-bend acts like a 100% effective, totally renewed, brand new every time seal. So they've had toilets in the past, but always they've had like a separation like rubber or wood or something, and it always leaks the smell. But in the toilet bowl, you've got this water which is refreshed every time, and that stops the smells from the sewage system coming into your house. It's a brilliantly simple and effective system.
Well, there you go. I did not know that.
Yeah, so you flush the toilet, and so the water comes out of the cistern, and then you get this sort of plume of a mixture of little water droplets together with any coloured water droplets, maybe yellow-coloured water droplets.
Your business, let's call it.
And maybe even a few brown particles. Let's call it a fecal mist.
Nice.
And then it comes into the air, and it floats around, and then after an hour or two, it's well and truly deposited all across the bathroom, and you can find everywhere. And we have very good records of this happening in the early days of COVID, when we had cases of young kids in kids' hospitals in the early 2020, so that's very early on, just showering COVID particles all across the bathroom.
No way. Okay, so
From not holding the lid down.
we are talking about, we'll just call them particles. So how far and wide can they go?
Well, most of us have fairly small bathrooms because we're not as wealthy as Melissa Caddick and her family. So in general, they will go to the far corners of the bathroom. If you've got the bathroom the size of something in Melissa Caddick's place, you know, the woman who did the runner with all the money, then it might not reach that easily all the way to the edges, but it'll definitely reach part of the way.
So a lot of us would have our vanity with a toilet next to it. A lot of us keep our toothbrushes on top of our vanity, so that's pretty gross.
Yes, and so you end up with the situation that if you leave the lid up, you're brushing your teeth with rather diluted. It is diluted. You're brushing your teeth with diluted toilet water, and in most of us, your chances of getting a disease from that in a lifetime is pretty small. But if you average it over tens of thousands of people, people will be affected by that over a lifetime. But in most cases, you can get away with it, and it's a case of something that's unlikely to happen, but when it does, it can be catastrophic, and I now have a cure for you, for your kids.
Okay, just tell them to put the toilet seat down? Will they listen to you?
No, don't tell. Show.
Yes.
So keep an eye on their toothbrushes.
Well,
And when the
I've got to get them to
toothbrushes
clean
are
their teeth in the first place. I've got big troubles at my house, Dr. Carl.
It is hard. Part of what they have to do is disobey everything you say, even though it's correct. Right? I've been through that. I've been a child myself. So what you do is you wait until the toothbrush gets to near the end of its life for each of your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then you invite them to go for a little walk into the bathroom with you. And then you get each toothbrush, lift up the toilet lid and swoosh it around in the toilet water and then say, well, here's your toothbrush. Go ahead and use it. It's the same as leaving the lid up.
Brilliant.
Best of luck.
Brilliant. I love that
And then-
so much.
And then you say, look, I'll be kind to you. And then, secretly knowing that the toothbrush is near the end of its life, you throw them in the bin and then say, okay, but here's some fresh toothbrushes. And please put the lid down or else I will dip them in the toilet water.
Well, yeah, or guess what? You're doing it to yourself by not doing it because the
Yeah.
particles will float up and land on your toothbrush. But I'm thinking of my bathroom at home. I've also got a rack of towels near my toilet as well. So there, little particles are going on there as well. This is bad.
Yeah, the technical term is fecal mist. It used to be when I was a kid, nobody would eat until they had washed their hands with soap and water. You weren't allowed at the dinner table until you had washed your hands with soap and water. You couldn't touch the communal food.
Well, that makes sense. That needs to come
Yeah.
back. Well, I guess we're doing that in a certain way now with COVID and disinfecting our hands everywhere, aren't we?
Yes, and so the measures that we put in place in the early days in 2020 before we had the vaccine, the measures that we put in place to reduce spread from one person to another, they also worked on the flu, and we went from, in the previous year, 20,000 cases of flu down to 200.
Yeah.
It just shows you what wearing masks and washing your hands and having social hygiene works. Now, I was just thinking about your kids. Now, don't forget the lesson of the Godfather here, which is never make a threat unless you're prepared to carry it out immediately. So don't threaten the kids with dipping their toothbrushes in the toilet bowl, because you'd never do that. So don't make a threat you're not prepared to carry out.
Oh, no,
okay?
I'll do it.
No, you can't, because then they might deliberately try and be stupid at you, and you know how everything can get out of hand.
Oh, true. This is true.
Yeah, you know.
And do you know what? It is, you're right. And some leopards don't change their spots, because I read a few comments to your TikTok video, and this is what a few said. I've been doing it my whole life and nothing has happened to me. And then another said, have been doing this for years and I'm still alive. And then, oh, meh, been flushing with lid open and toothbrush in the room for decades and I'm still standing. Some people will never change.
Well, the thing is that it's a sample size of one. And the people who say, I had this sort of really bad bout of, I don't know whether it was food poisoning or what, but I was really sick and had to go into intensive care. They don't say, and by the way, they managed to work it out backwards and it was infection from the toilet brushes. That does not get published. So if you've ever been a medical person, you see stuff going on that the general public don't know about. And if you've never worked in the health sciences, you know, as a nurse or a porter or a medical doctor or anything, you have no idea of the things that go on in hospitals. Anybody who's ever worked in a hospital, they've got just a whole different attitude because they've seen things that other people have not.
Oh, that's a whole nother segment for another day, Dr. Carl, but it intrigues me. But on a serious note, this is interesting because scientists did conclude with this that toilet or fecal mist that we have nicknamed it, that as you touched on at the beginning, it spread COVID in the early days that they learned, but also norovirus and SARS and the flu, like you said. So there is a very serious side to this. Put the lid down.
Sure. Yes. And I'll tell you something weird about the norovirus.
Mm.
You know how it's short for Norwalk virus, and it's incredibly infective, and it can just rip through a cruise ship, and just kill people like crazy. And if you've ever been on a cruise ship, they always get you to wash your hands with that squirty alcohol stuff before you enter the dining room. You know that?
Well, I've never been on a cruise, but yeah, I'm taking your word for it.
Okay, so I've been on a few, and they do that.
Mm.
Now, here's the weird thing. The alcohol doesn't work.
Why?
Because the norovirus does not have a coating of fat, and therefore it's not affected by alcohol. Luckily for us, the coronavirus does have a fatty coating, and it needs that fatty coating, and this fatty coating is dissolved by alcohol. So if you've got some virus on your hands and you use that squirty alcohol stuff, the alcohol will work against the coronavirus, but not against the norovirus. Either way, wash your hands with soap and water.
That is fascinating. So I guess the flu must have a fatty covering too.
Don't know. Good question. I'm going to have to check that one out.
Well, interesting. Well, let's park that for another day. I loved that chat, Dr. Carl. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Jade.
Thank you. And you can check out more of Dr. Carl's fun facts on his science book. It is called Dr. Carl's Little Book of Climate Change Science.
He's got one of the best kicks in the AFL.
Brilliant kick, Brody Smith. I'll bring the house down.
And each week, Crow star Brodie Smith joins Rowi's Sports Show. Thanks to ACET Couriers. Need something delivered for your business? Don't risk it. ACET with ACET Couriers.
Ladbroke this autumn racing carnival with Ladbroke's Same Race Multi. Add up to 4 runners to watch your potential payout increase. Ladbroke's Same Race Multi. Available on every day of the autumn racing carnival. Ladbroke it. Gamble responsibly.
Hear that? That's the sound of the wild calling. And it's calling you. The chimpanzee is one of over 500 animals that you'll experience at Monado Safari Park. The wild is calling. Are you listening? Book your tickets online at monadosafari.com.au.
Did you know that Frank Sinatra's My Way was voted the #1 choice of funeral songs? With Time to Say Goodbye not far behind. And the #1 choice for a simple, affordable service? simplicityfunerals.com.au.
Hey, check this catalogue out. Sip and Save is giving away 5 content creator kits. Just pick up a specially marked Jack Daniels and Cola 4.8% 10-pack for $44.99 and enter online.
Wow, you could win an Apple MacBook, a Canon digital SLR package, a premium drone with heaps of accessories, even a photography course.
They've also got my favourite beer on special, a 24-pack of Cooper's Pale Ales, $49.99.
Great price. The comp ends soon, though.
Way ahead of ya!
Good time start at Sip and Save.
Prices may vary in country areas. See website for T's and C's. 1 hour delivery available in selected areas. Download the app.
Not to brag, but AFL's biggest stars are at my place. They're smaller than expected, a little two-dimensional, but only because they're limited edition AFL sports cards. You too can own a piece of footy history with the Select Footy Stars 2022 collection at Sports Card World, plus exclusive jumbo packs and everything you need to keep your collection in mint condition. If you're a collector or interested in collecting, chat to the experts at Sports Card World, Regent Arcade, Rundle Mall.
Stratco's Big 4 sale event is this Saturday. It's the best time to get yourself a big deal on a Stratco patio, shed, fence or roof. Get a massive 20% off all plants from our Stratco garden centres. Plus get 10% off pots. Save $100 on a zinc single Frontier carport and $150 on a colour single Frontier carport. And get an incredible 15% off all coloured handy-made sheds. We've got heaps of offers and giveaways, but it's only this Saturday, so don't miss out.
Hurry into Beaumont's huge DIY sale. Refresh your kitchen splashback for under $100. Update your outdoor pavers with 20% off and grab up to 60% off Manager's Easter specials. In-store only at your local Beaumont Tiles.
If you have a personal alert system that relies on a landline and is connected to your NBN modem, it may not work during a power failure. Upgrade today for just $99. That's 75% off normal price. For more info, go to carealert.com.au.
Jade Robran on $13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Good afternoon. It is, what are we, 3:48 on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. And after 4 o'clock is Rowie Sports Show and Rowie joins us. Good afternoon.
Oh, Jade, great to be here. Port v Melbourne tomorrow night. Looks like one change. Cleary in and Skinner out injured. We'll speak to Lee Matthews. There is COVID chaos everywhere. 2 AFL coaches out.
Oh, no.
Ben Rutten. Benny Rutten's out. COVID protocols. Justin Longmuir for Freeman. We're still in a COVID pandemic.
I know.
Get used to it. Anne Hatchard, runner-up in the AFLW BNF. She's an All-Australian into the grand final. Speak to Anne. What a year. We'll call that game from noon on Saturday with David Wildy and, Jenny Williams. How good's that?
It's going to be an absolute belter of a game.
Oh, cannot wait. Will be a ripper.
Have been flying.
Big show. Would love your calls. Oh, and by the way, for Crows supporters, because it's all been about Port, how they're eating their own and the whatnot. You know how they're
they've got it in for that coach. I feel sorry for Kenny.
The Texan, Taylor Walker's back.
Good on him.
Ka-ching.
Got that one wrong, didn't I?
Did you say he wouldn't play?
Yep.
Jade, you're never wrong.
No, I've been wrong twice with you this week.
Why didn't you just speak to me, mate?
I know.
Captain Mr. Sports.
Well, you are. That's why you're on your show and I'm in mine.
Yeah, well done. See you, Jade.
Thank you so much. Okay. I reckon let's do fourth caller through. If you would like to win a $75 gift card for the Family Cook for traditional family favourites delivered fresh or frozen to you, visit thefamilycook.com.au. Call in now, fourth caller through 8223 0055. Now, if asked, would you fight for your country? Many past and present have fought for the life that we have here today in Australia, but it's a question that's been raised with what's happening in Ukraine right now. We have seen thousands of civilians stay and fight for the homeland. From a certain age, males have had to stay behind and fight, but a poll has found that's not the case here in Australia, and many gave a very interesting answer. Daniel Wild is the Director of Research at the Institute of Public Affairs. He joins us now. Daniel, thank you very much for your time. What was the overwhelming answer that was given?
Hi Jade, lovely to be with you. The overwhelming answer was that most Australians would not stay and fight if Australia were in the same position as Ukraine is now. What we found in our survey is only 46% of Australians across all age groups would stay and fight. Now, what was particularly concerning, though, is when we look at young Australians, those aged around 18 to 35, and only about 1 in 3 young Australians said that they would stay and fight if we were in the same position as what Ukraine is now. And the reason for this is that for many years, young Australians have been given a very negative, one-sided view of our history and of our culture, and it's really making them ashamed to be Australians. You know, ashamed because they believe Australia is nothing more than a racist country or a country that was invaded rather than being settled. And of course, no nation is perfect, but Australia's story is one of pioneering advancements in freedom, in democracy, in tolerance. And that's not a story that young Australians are hearing about, and consequently they're not willing to defend and fight our country should that need arise.
This is very, very interesting research because the history of that is obviously very important, and that all of us need to learn that. However, it seems like the history lesson has just gone so far down one road, and we're going to have a generation and possibly more of people that are growing up with no, I guess, emotional investment in our country. What do you feel like should be done? We need to teach pride again, almost.
We do need to teach pride, and we need to teach Australians and young Australians especially that, you know, Australia is a pretty good country. There's not many other countries that are worth living in, and not as many countries that are as good as Australia. And the first thing to do, to be honest with you, is to get rid of the national curriculum and start again. You know, have a more balanced assessment of what our nation is all about. Let's not forget, we are the nation that invented the secret ballot. We're the first, you know, South Australia was the first place to allow women to run for parliament. We are a nation that has had pioneering advancements for religious tolerance. You know, that's why millions of people have come to our shores since World War II, because we're a free, fair and prosperous society. We give people a go no matter what their background is. And that is not a story that is being told. So that is what needs to be at the core of the national curriculum, rather than this never-ending self-loathing. Like I said, yes, we've made mistakes as a nation, but we almost uniquely as a nation have corrected and reflected on our mistakes. You know, take the 1967 referendum as an example. Over 90% of Australians said that it was wrong that Indigenous Australians were excluded from being counted as equals, and we changed that, and we became more equal as a society. So these are the stories, and this is the background of our nation that needs to be at the core of our national curriculum, rather than this negative self-hate view that is making young Australians ashamed, ashamed of themselves and ashamed of their own country.
Here's a few comments on the topic from young Australians that wrote in. Why would they stay and fight? This country has no national identity, no culture and poor leadership in both the main political parties. The average Australian only cares for rising property prices. And then another one here. You want me to defend a country that stepped all over my liberties with mandates and government overreach, referring to COVID lockdown. You want me to defend a country where at least 50% of the population hate me because I am either a male or white. You want me to defend a country where I can't even purchase a house with a combined income of $200,000. A lot of the remarks really echoed this, what these two comments have said. Does this surprise you? It's alarming to me.
It's alarming. It's very alarming, and there's a lot of strands to that. I want to pick up one. which it gets to identity politics, you know, and it shows that identity politics is poisoning us and dividing us. You know, it's dividing us by our race, by our religion, by our sexuality, by our, you know, by our backgrounds, rather than uniting us around our shared values. So that's what this shows, is that many young Australians especially, but Australians of all age groups, feel alienated from the country that they grew up in and that they love. You know, a lot of Australians have fallen out of love with their country as identity politics has replaced what used to unite us around our shared values of freedom, democracy, egalitarianism, and having a go. The other key point that you make, which I think is really important here, is a lot of Australians don't feel like they're invested in our future. Yeah. You know, so home ownership is one of them, and home ownership has always been a key way in which people feel like they have a stake, you know, a stake in the community, a stake in their future, a stake in the country's future as well. And so the fact that home ownership is getting out of reach, I think, is turning a lot of Australians to think, well, what kind of opportunities do I have in this nation? And also access to dignified full-time work, which is something that was readily available, but becoming less so for the younger generation. So there's a lot of key points that you touch on there.
Daniel Wild from Institute for Public Affairs, thank you very much. Let's go to David from the Adelaide Hills. Hi, David.
Hi, I'd like to touch on the fact that the way that we treat returned people, like because of my age group, I know people that went to Vietnam, and I can recall them having pig's blood thrown on them, and horrible things said. And I also know one or two returned Iraq veterans who suffer terribly from PTSD, and they are basically considered monsters by the majority of people. Oh, you went over and you killed women and children. Now, terrible things get done in war, and I'm not here to support war as a concept, but we cannot ask people to fight for us and then stand there judging them so brutally when we do what they ask.
Really good opinion, and not support them when they come back, because that is a huge issue that continues to affect our soldiers that fought for the life that we have here today. There is a lot of anger in our country at the moment, a lot of distrust, a lot of talk about our history and how we could have been better and how we can still be better. I get all of that. Australia's not perfect, but where is? But to say you wouldn't fight for what we have, I think, is a bit of a negative attitude. I look at what's going on in Ukraine, and I would fight for my country. And if you wouldn't fight for your country, at least fight for your family, the men and women who have fought for the freedoms we have today. You can be angry at our politicians or the way, we've handled COVID at house prices, but don't let that blind you for the future that you have. It's a bloody good place that we live in here, Australia, the place that we call home. We have got to wrap it up. Rowie Sports Show is coming up next. Thanks again for joining me on this Wednesday afternoon. I look forward to chatting with you again Thursday. Have a good afternoon. Bye for now.
What part of this don't you get? You've had that many people saying what's going wrong with the aged care. We're saying it's in crisis. Why aren't you believing us?